Hi, I'm Jayne and welcome to my quilt studio. So it's coming to the end of 2024 and I thought I'd look back over the last year to see what I got up to. So in this video I'm going to talk about the challenges of moving house. I'm going to talk about two projects that I did this year, the Etchings Quilt and the Granny Square quilt. I'm also going to talk about my fantastic trip to Cowlip Studios to do a workshop with Kari Meng from French General Fabrics. I bought a really beautiful table for my new sewing room. I also went to the Festival of Quilts at the NEC, where I got inspiration and fabric for my project for 2025, which will be a medallion quilt, and I'm going to talk to you all about that towards the end of this video. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my Let's Make a Quilt book for beginners. I'll put the timestamps in the description below for you. Now let's get started. So at the end of 2023 we decided to put our house on the market, and it didn't sell as quickly as we thought it would, and so we decided to switch agents. We'd been told that Boxing Day was a great day for everybody who wants to buy a house, because they've just got over Christmas and they're sat and they're Googling and they're going on to Rightmove and they want to see what houses are available. Unfortunately, we didn't quite hit December the 26th due to contractual reasons. But what it did do was give us Christmas to sort the house out. And there were two rooms in particular that needed decluttering. My daughter's bedroom and, unfortunately, my sewing room. Now, my sewing room was a very, very small room in that house, but I had packed it really well with everything I needed and a lot of what I didn't need. So over the Christmas period, I had to take about 80 to 90% of the things in my sewing room out of my sewing room. And I had to convert my sewing room into a room with a single bed, a desk for me to do my real job, my office job on, and I needed some way of continuing to sew because, well, I couldn't not sew. So that was a big, big task. So I ended up with a single bed, a desk where I would put my work computer and also where I could do my editing, and I kept my Benina sewing machine and a small Expedit storage unit. And I decided that I would keep two projects out for me to complete whilst we were selling the house. And the first one was this quilt, and I finished this quilt, and you can see I did take it to be long arm quilted. I'm really pleased with the look of that. It was a small quilt, and it used fabrics by, let me think who they were by, I can't remember, so I'll link it, I'll put it on the video when I've worked out who they were by. And I also kept out this Granny Square quilt to complete. This one had been a project I've been doing on and off for many years actually, and I thought, well, let's just do it, let's finish it. And I do have a pattern for this one as well, and I really wanted to get the pattern up onto the website so you can go and buy it if you want. But this is the quilt, and so I think what I needed to do was sew all the blocks together and then put the sashing in and the borders in. So that is what my project was whilst we were selling the house. So once this house went on the market for the second time round, we were really lucky and we managed to sell it in the first weekend that it was on the market. So we accepted the offer, and in England you have to do all sorts of legal things then to get to the point where you actually move house. And so we agreed the sale first beginning part of January, and then we had to go out and find somewhere to move to, and we put an offer in on a house, I think probably the end of January or the beginning of February, and then we didn't actually move until June. So it just takes such a long time to tie up all the legal paperwork and move. In that time I was sewing in my little tiny room. Some of the highlights of the year were that I went to a workshop with my friend Emma down at Cowlip Workshops. Cowlip is a fantastic place to go, and if you're in England and you want to go somewhere great for quilting, Cowlip is the place to go. It's down on kind of the Devon Cornwall border, and Jo Colwell runs it, and she's written a couple of books, you can probably find those, and she has a fantastic setup. She has a restaurant, she has a really lovely workshop, she has a barn, and when we were there for the weekend she had a French style brocante running there, and in the evening that's where we went to see Kari Meng do her talk. Now Kari Meng owns French General, and I absolutely adore French General. You can see there's a quote behind me for French General, and she also has a shop. Obviously she has a shop, and she has like this little Benina studio as well. So it's just a wonderful quilting place to go. So if you're in England, down Devon Cornwall way, it's really worth going over to see that. So Emma and I booked a weekend away, and we went down to this workshop with Kari Meng, and as I said, in the evening we went on a talk. We saw Kari Meng do a talk, and there were so many beautiful quilts on the wall, all French General quilts. Jo had managed to get lots of people to donate their French General quilts for the display, and it was really beautiful. And then the next day we had a whole day working with Kari Meng, producing a really nice kind of broidery anglaise piece. And the other highlight of the summer was when Emma and I went to the Festival of Quilts up in Birmingham at the National Exhibition Centre there, and I have done a video on that, and you can see it. There's a link to that up in the right or in the top corner of this video, so you can go and have a look at my time there. So that was really good. The downside of the year was I lost my sewing mojo. So as soon as we moved into our new property, there was so much to do, and all the things that I'd packed away out of my sewing room had gone into a storage unit, and it was not priority at that point to get all my sewing things out. And in fact, one of the things we needed to do was put new flooring into the room that was going to be my sewing studio. So we wanted nice wooden flooring in this room. I did get a really lovely pine table for my sewing room, and I have a few pictures that I can put up. It's I got it off Facebook Marketplace, so it didn't cost me very much, and I sent my husband and my daughter back into Bristol to pick up this table, and the people who were selling it, they lived in a flat on the 3rd floor in a house on a very busy road, no car parking, And so my husband is there ringing the doorbell and he can't get their attention at all, and he's thinking he might have to give up, and I'm thinking, don't give up, the table's so beautiful. But eventually they did come downstairs, and there he was, and between I think 3 or 4 of them, they were able to carry this table down the 3 stairs, across the busy road, and put it into the boot of the car. And it's now come here for its next reincarnation as my sewing table, and it is really, really beautiful. So it was lovely to get that in place in my sewing room, and I will do a tour of my sewing room, and it's looking really, really beautiful. I'm really pleased with it. Now, whilst I was at the Festival of Quilts, I fell in love with these fabrics by Laundry Basket Quilts, and it's called the Beach House fabric line. So let me show you some of these lovely fabrics. So I'll tell you what I'll do is, what I did was I bought a fat 1/8 box from, this is from Bramble Patch. Now obviously I've been rootling through this, but it comes, and they are so beautifully presented to you. Just put that one back in there. So it comes with all the fabrics in the range, and I knew I wanted more than fat 1/8s, but I didn't want all the fabrics. I didn't want every fabric out of the range. So that's why I bought this box of fat 1/8s, so I could see the fabrics. Now I could have bought a charm pack, which would have been a lot less expensive, but then I felt, well, what am I going to do with the charm pack? Ultimately I want to make a quilt, and the charm pack pieces are going to be a bit small, whereas the fat 1/8 pieces would be big enough to use in the blocks in the quilt. So that's why I bought the fat 1/8 box. And also, whilst I was at the quilt show, I came across this company called Crafty UK, and they were selling this compass, and they've called it the Beach House Compass. Now if I can find, so the Beach House fabrics come with a panel, and the panel has got these compasses, or mariner's compasses, on it. I think you get 10 mariner's compasses on the panel. And what Crafty UK had done was create a set of rulers that would make a mariner's compass. And when I saw this, they had created something like this. So this is one I made earlier, and I might try and pin that up somewhere so you can see it a bit easier. If I just move this out of the way, move my pieces out of the way here. That's kind of the mariner's compass. And what they had done for the show is they had then placed one of the pieces from the panel in that circle in the middle, so it looked a bit like that. And I just thought that's really lovely, cute idea. And so it was a really good sales job, and it sold the whole thing to me. So I bought, obviously at the show, I bought the panel, and I bought this kit. And then when I came home, I then bought the fat 1/8 box. So that I could see the full range of the fabrics and work out what I wanted to do with it. And I have got EQ8. So with EQ8, what I did was I uploaded all the images of these fabrics into the EQ8 program, and then I played around with it to work out what it is I wanted to create. And as you know, I've done lots of little sample blocks, and I didn't really want to do a sampler quilt. And I'd seen quite a lot of kind of medallion quilts at the show. So I came up with this. This is what I am hoping to make. This is called the Beach House Quilt. Well, I've called the Beach House Quilt. So this is what I've called the Beach House Quilt. And so it has the mariner's compass in the middle, and there's got some flying geese here, and then we come out and we have various different blocks out here, and then we've got some log cabins framing some more of the compasses from the panel piece, and then this would be just the border fabric here. So this is my project for 2025. So over the next few, well, probably months, I will be making this, and I will show you how I'm doing. I will post videos on how I'm doing with this quilt, and ultimately I hope to create a pattern which I'll tell you all about when it's ready, and if you want to, you can buy it and do your own version of the quilt. And you wouldn't have to have a panel that I've got, and you wouldn't have to put a medallion in the middle. You could put a Dresden plate in the middle, you could put Dresden plates here if you wanted to. You could do anything you wanted in the middle. Whatever is your favourite block, you could do that instead of the mariner's compass. And just to let you know, when I come to work out how much fabric I need, I go back and I use my trusty little quilt block notebooks to work out the sizings that I want for my blocks, and then I use that to put into the Excel spreadsheet. So let me show you some of the fabrics that I then bought a little bit more of. So this lovely one here. I got a lot of this one because this is the border fabric. And then on the light colours, I got these. And then we've got a few more darks. And then we've got the lights. So we've got this one, this one, this one. And then I got a little bit more of the striped fabric. So I'm hoping my calculations are good and I don't have to go back and find more fabric, because obviously this was a collection that came out in the summer. I think it's a pretty popular collection, and yeah, trying to find extras of some of these fabrics may prove difficult, but you know, that's the joy of quilting, isn't it? Us searching for more fabric. So as I said, over the next few weeks, months, I'll be putting that quilt together. So you may have noticed the quilt behind me. The quilt behind me is from the book that I published a couple of years ago now, and it's called Let's Make a Quilt. And if you are starting out as a quilter, this would be a really good book for you. It shows you how to make each of the blocks and how to put them together with your sashing and how to add your border. So it shows you how to make the quilt from start to finish. And there are also some other projects within the book as well. So we've got a baby quilt, we've got some cushion covers, got a table runner. So, you know, I'd really appreciate it if you have a look at the book. And perhaps you know somebody who's starting out and they'd like a book to begin their quilting journey on. So this would be a really good one for that. As I said, obviously I made the quilt myself, and my friend Emma beta tested it, and she made the quilt. And this book is completely, everything is down to me and my husband. We did all the editing ourselves, and we did the photography ourselves, and did all the place setting on the book. So it is our book that we loved putting together, and we're really proud of it. So you can click on the QR code, and the book is available from Amazon if you wanted to buy that. So anyway, thank you for listening to my rather rambling video today, and hopefully you'll join me again and for the videos as I make this beach house quilt in 2025. So anyway, have a fantastic Christmas, have a brilliant New Year, and I'll see you in 2025. Happy quilting! I hope you've enjoyed these videos, and thank you very much for all your support by downloading my patterns and buying my books. Bye for now, and happy quilting!